Hi everybody, I'm Maggie. This is week 13 math, and we are focusing on liquid equivalents for our new grammar. They include 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup, 2 cups equals 1 pint, 2 pints equals 1 quart, and 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. The tune we're going to be using is Sally's Camel, and we do have a couple of hand motions. We are going to do, for fluid ounces, have our hands do the waves. We got some waves for fluid ounces. For a cup, when we do 1 cup, we're going to drink from our hand and have our pinky out for 1 cup. For 2 cups, we're going to have 2 fingers out and drink from it twice. For pint, 1 pint, we're going to do 1 and an ASL P. For 2 pints, we're going to do 2 and an ASL P again. For 1 quart, we're going to do 1 and then do an ASL Q. For 4 quarts, 4 ASL Q. And for 1 gallon, we'll do 1 and then do the ASL G. So this is how I'll sing it first so you can hear how it sounds, and then we'll do it with the hand motions. So it goes, 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup, 2 cups equals 1 pint, 2 pints equals 1 quart, 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup, 2 cups equals 1 pint, 2 pints equals 1 quart, 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. And that's it. Now, how do we do this in class? In addition to singing this song and saying it, I start doing a call and repeat that the kiddos have really come to love, and we're going to do it kind of throughout the next 12 weeks, but it's to the tune of sound off. So if you know anything about sound off, you say, I don't know what I've been told, and the kiddos repeat. So it's a call and response. So it's, I don't know what I've been told, I don't know what I've been told. Liquid equivalents are good to know. Liquid equivalents are good to know. 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup. 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup. 2 cups equals 1 pint. 2 cups equals 1 pint. 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. These are your liquid equivalents. These are your liquid equivalents. 4cc Math Week 13. 4cc Math Week 13. Sound off, 1, 2, sound off, 3, 4, sound off, 1, 2, 3, 4. So just a good fun way to do call and response versus the regular just I say it, you say it. So we'll do that in class. We learn the song, we practice the hand motions. The other thing we do is the Kingdom of Gallon. And if you are not familiar, it's a fun little story, and there's lots of print offs you can find throughout the lovely internet. One of the ones that I like to use is from memoryjoggers.com, and I will post it for you. But it's a great little story, and basically it starts with you taking and making a G, much like this, and you tell your kiddos, I draw the G on the board, and I say, in the Kingdom of Gallon, there lived 4 queens. They were all sisters, and they looked exactly alike. So I take my Kingdom of Gallon, and now I add my 4 queens. So I'll draw a Q there, right? And I say, oh, I hate to tell you this, but soon the 4 queens got into this huge fight, and they couldn't agree on how to rule over the Kingdom of Gallon. Finally, they decided to split the kingdom in half. 2 queens ruled half of the gallon, and the other 2 queens ruled the southern half of gallon. And so what I do is I take from this little line here, I make a dotted line, boop, 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 on the board, and we talk about in a half a gallon, there are 2 queens, or in a half a gallon, we have 2 quarts. So in the top half of our gallon, how many quarts do we have? 2. In the bottom half of our gallon, how many quarts do we have? 2. Then we move on to the next part, and I say, now that there was peace in the kingdoms, the queens got married, and each one of them had 1 prince and 1 princess. So inside of our Q's, I put 2 P's, and I put them on top of each other just so that we have enough room to be able to put all the rest of the things we need. And so again, I will ask the kids, what do you think the P stands for? And they'll say pint. What about the Q? Quart. And the G, again, gallon. And they'll say, well, how many pints do we have in a quart? We have 2 pints in 1 quart. And we have how many pints in a half a gallon? We have 4 pints in a half a gallon. So after I tell each portion of the story and then I make our drawing, we keep going back and referencing how much referencing the liquid equivalents and how that relates back to this. Now, I say there's something I forgot to tell you. Each prince and each princess have 2 cats. One cat is black and one cat is white. So inside of our C's here, inside of our P's, I put 2 C's. So there's 2 C's in each pint, right? And so again, I'll be like, what do we think the C's mean? The C's mean cup. What do we think the P means? The P means pint. What do we think about the quarts? The quarts mean, or Q's, the Q's mean quarts, and so on. And so then I'll say, well, how many cups do we have in a pint? 2. How many cups do we have in a quart? 4. How many cups do we have in a half a gallon? And again, so on and so forth. Now, the last piece that I will say is that our kittens, or our cats, all have 2 crazy eyes, and they're always looking out for the kingdom to see what is going on in the kingdom. So then I go and put a number 8 for the eyes for the cats in each of the cups. And so when we get home, not necessarily in class, I'll be like, well, how many ounces, fluid ounces do we have in a cup? We have 8. How about in 2 cups? We have 16. How about how many ounces do we have in a pint? 16, and so on and so forth. So this is a great tool just to show them and how to memorize cups and pints. It's a great story. I will link it to you below. There's also the Gallon Man, which my kiddos at home really like. We basically cut out all the pieces and created this awesome Gallon Man robot thing for them to work on. And it was just a fun way to practice this material and bring it to life. And then again, being able to ask them all the different questions. How many ounces do we have in half a gallon? How many ounces do we have in a quart, in a pint? How many pints in a quart? It was just a good way to practice our math. We also did a Write the Room with this, with all the terms like pint, quart, gallon, ounces, all the different liquid equivalent terms, and we kind of wrote those, and they had to go around the room, find them, and write them in on their answer keys. And last but not least, the way we did this, again at home, not in community, is I took out different utensils for measuring. So I had a pint glass, a quart jar, a gallon jug, and then a measuring scale and another jar. So we talked about how to use the tare function to be able to figure out how we can get 8 fluid ounces into one of our jars. And then we took that and kind of measure or poured that into our cup, into our pint, into our quart, into our gallon, just to actually count out how it looks. And so they can visually see how many cups went into a pint, how many ounces went into a cup. So it was just a fun way to practice it at home, and all the kiddos loved it, especially my littlest one, because anytime they get the opportunity to pour things and potentially make a little bit of a mess, the child is game for. So it's just another fun way to practice it, and again, to visually see how things change. So I hope this helps you for going over your week 13 math material, and we'll see you in the next one.